Welcome back, everyone. So, a few days ago, I had to run all the way across town to pick something up, and I was in the area of town, not too far away from Greg's Comics. Now, I've mentioned Greg's Comics many, many times, and these days, I highlight the fact that they have so many 50-cent boxes in their store, at least a dozen 50-cent long boxes in there. And they are known, or I should say, I've highlighted the fact that there's lots of new books in these 50-cent boxes. Now, when I say new, I'm talking within the last 5 years. A lot of stuff within the last year, and a lot of stuff that are still on the shelves in some cases. There were stuff that you could buy right off of the shelf. I know one of the reasons is, if they've received damaged books, they'll, I guess, get a credit, they'll get more, and then they'll just blow the damaged ones out for 50 cents a piece or whatever. But, as I mentioned, I'm not a stickler on condition. Just give me the book so I can read it. So anyway, I was over there and I stopped in there and I went through their 50-cent boxes like really, really quick. I picked up a ton. I'd like to show you some of the books that I got. Now, we're going to start off with a book. This is from Scout. It's called The Recount #1. That's the first issue. Now, I want to mention that I flipped through all of these books and I looked at the art real quick. And if the art got, my attention, then I give the book the green light as a whole. As long as it's not anything that has to deal with superheroes or superpowers or space stuff, space alien stuff, that kind of stuff I'm not into at all. No monster stuff, no talking animals, just regular people type stories. All right, let's keep going. This is issue number 21 of Farmhand. Now, the book chew that I've mentioned before, that was the whole reason I got back into collecting comics like really heavy. Because I was like on again, off again, like pretty much my whole life. But when Chew came out, that's when, comics really caught my attention again. And I've been going hardcore ever since. Well, this is another story based off of the whole Chew team called Farmhand. And so I haven't actually started this book, but I am putting the whole run together. I have most of them. I'm probably missing no more than 10. And I usually find these in the dollar boxes. So I'm just going to put that run together, then I'll check it out. Next up, we got issue number 9 of Deviant, The Deviant. I've mentioned this book before. I've bought all of these before. I haven't gotten around to reading them just yet. Apparently, it's some guy who dresses up like Santa or something and goes around people or something. I hear it's a really, really good read. Recommend it by Eric over at Greg's Comics. And I don't even know why I picked this up. I think I kind of want to put another run together just so I can send it to somebody and we can kind of read it together. I tend to do that at times, so that's probably why I picked that one up. From Image, this is issue number 4 of Dark Honor. A lot of these books, I'm going to read these, and if it catches me, then I'll definitely put the runs together. There's so many books that, or so many titles that I've done that with, and I really need to slow down until I get around to reading some of these. This was a book, Hotel Volume 1 and 2, that I put both of those runs together, and I started reading this, and I'm not really into it. Not really into that. I thought I would be for some reason, but volume one is like a 4 issue run, and it's not a continual story. Each book is like a different story. But that's just an example of a book I picked up in the 50 cent bins, so and thought, you know, let me put this run together. So I got a lot of that to do. A lot of these books in here, you know, I don't know. It would really have to capture me to do that, but I really need to slow down. But how can you say no to 50 cent books? It's like you see them, you gotta have them, especially around here where you hardly ever see them. Next up from Scout, there were a lot of Scout books in there, man. I mean, some of you guys would really score. There was tons of titles I don't follow or whatever, but this is issue number 1 of Comic Books Kill. Not sure. That looks like a really interesting book. Issue number 7 of Stillwater. I do believe I've shown you 1 or 2 of those. Ancestral Recall. I wish I had got number 1. Oh, I did. This is issue number 1 of Ancestral Recall, and this is issue number 2. This cover is pretty cool. Pretty cool looking cover. So I picked those up. This is a really thick book. Looks alright. I doubt that I would like this, but this is what issue is this? It doesn't say on the cover. But are they not putting information in the front? Oh, here we go. Issue number 2 of Deep Cuts. Sorry, but I can't take you. Deep Cuts. Anybody know anything about this book? Help me out. Tell me what this is about. Art was, you know, acceptable, but the book looked interesting, so we'll see what happens. Who was it that was telling me about Abbott? Was that Dan? I think it was Dan. Was that Dan Elson? Dan, was that you? Abbott, 1979. That's issue number 2. And then issue number 5. And then this is just, oh no, this is issue number, could this be? Oh, number 4. And then there's number 4. So I had to pick those up. And this is issue number, I almost think I have this, 1 of Tin Can Society. I picked up one of these somewhere, I think from Samurai Comics. It was like free with a purchase. And I really dug the story. I don't remember anything about it, but I decided I would look for those 2. So 50 cent bins. That's number 1, and this is number 7. That book I'm going to save for another video. Then we have issue number 2 of Charred Remains. That looked interesting. Here's 2 books from a run that I was trying to put together. Grindle, Kentucky, issue number 1 of 4. And then this is issue number 2 of 4. I know I have one other one. I might have the rest of them, but I know I have at least one other one. So I might only need to find one more. Either that or I have the entire run. One of the 2. Let me set those aside so I can mark them off my list. This is issue number 4 of Harriet Tubman, Demon Slayer. Great book. I already have this entire run, but I couldn't leave this behind. I'll probably pass this along to someone at some point. Or maybe I'll wait and put this whole run together. I haven't seen many of those in the cheap boxes, so we'll just have to see. Issue number 6 of Sweetwater. Okay. Issue number 10 of Sweetwater. And then here's a Sweetwater book, but this is Sweetwater The Escape, issue number 1. Here's issue number 1 of The Mammoth for Man Cave or Mad Cave. Is that Man or Mad? Mad Cave. Now, I haven't read any of these books, and I don't know what any of these books are about, so please feel free to chime in and put me up on game. on some of these stories. This is issue number 2 of The Killer Inside Me. Issue number 1 of Thumbprint. I actually saw that they had a few different covers of that, but I chose that one. Assassin's Apprentice, issue number 1. I think there were more of those, but I don't know if I grabbed them. I know there was more than one issue. Here's issue number 1 of North Bend. And this was probably, without a doubt, the coolest book that I found in the 50-cent bins, and it's a first pressing. This is The Man by Von Bodie. I'll take any of his stuff. I have most of it, but I'll still take it. Here's a book from back in the day that I thoroughly enjoyed. This is Nam, issue number 1. And I have a question for you guys who are familiar with this book. The comic book is the same as the magazine. I have the magazine run, at least the first 10 copies of Nam the magazine. And I was looking the other day, and I opened up the cover just to see, because I was pretty sure that they were the same book. Does anybody know why they would do that? Why Marvel would do that? Make a comic book size one and then make a magazine, or maybe they made the magazine size first. I'm not sure. But why would a company do that? Do the stories separate and branch off at any point, one from the other? Has this ever been done before, in the whole comic world? I have no idea. I would really like to know that. I think that's an interesting question. Let me know. Now, I picked up a few of these Icon books. This is number 4. I'm pretty sure I have number 1. I almost think I have like the first 2 or 3 that I got from a comic book show. I almost feel like I got them from the Old Man Con, one of the earlier ones I went to, maybe 3 or 4 shows ago. So I had to pick that up for 50 cents. Why not? This is issue number 1 of Where's Negan? I guess that's how you pronounce that. I'm not exactly sure. Here's a run that I have, but I saw this this cover that's different from the cover I have. Issue number 1 of The Lucky Devils. I don't know. I picked it up. I think I have 2 of these. I don't know where the other one is. Issue number 4 of, I don't even know how I pronounce this word. Ooh, is that how you pronounce that? Word? Wired? I don't know. I thought I picked up 2 issues of that. We'll see. Here's a one-shot book from Image called Arc. Am I saying that right? Arc, or is it ARC? One of the two. Here's another one. Oh, this is crazy. Hold on a second. I gotta go grab something real quick. Stay right there. Okay, so I should leave this for the end, huh? Nah, let's show it right now. This is a book that I found in the 50-cent bins. It's issue number 1 of After School. The reason why I wanted to go grab something is because I found a small stack of books in the living room that was buried under some stuff. I'm not sure when I bought these books, but just to break off a little bit from Greg's, I picked up this entire run. I didn't realize this at, what do you call it? Dreadnought Comics here in my neighborhood. So that's all 4 copies, and it was $4 for the entire run, which explains why this was only 50 cents. So I have this entire run on the same visit from Dreadnought. I bought Blood and Dust. That entire run. You ever seen that? And it's just 3 issues, and it was only $3. So that was cool. It was one of those situations where I went in there, I couldn't really find anything super interesting to buy, but I wasn't gonna leave empty-handed. So I grabbed those, and then I also grabbed Lucky Devils number 5. And I just took a chance. I don't know anything about this book, but this is issue number 1 of It Killed Everyone But Me. And that was just a short little stack I got from Dreadnought. Who knows how many weeks ago. So back to the 50-cent bins at Greg's. This one, well, I have one more. I'm going to save this one for another video too. We can't look at that one right now. But I will show you that in the future. Now, those were all of the 50-cent books. They have, as I've mentioned in the past, a box of $1 magazine-sized comics that they've had up there for, you know, the last few months at least. And this was a book, a one-shot book called 10 Years to Death. And they had a lot of books like this. A lot of them I've shown you in the past. And $1, man, you can't pass it up. Normally $6.99, and I do believe this came out this year. Ooh, I cannot read that. What does that say? 20. Does that say 2021? Okay. So still in that new realm of books, I would say. You can't beat that for $1. And then there's like they have like an old school spinner rack in Greg's. And Greg usually pulls out a lot of books that are usually the same title. Like you might go in there and it might be 90% full of Iron Man, or 90% full of Western comics, or 90% full of Star Wars or whatever is in there. But a lot of them seem to be like mine. So they had like some kind of miscellaneous stuff in there when I went in there. But 2 books that I was surprised to see was issue number 4 of Zap Comics. And by the way, everything on that spinner rack is always $2 a piece. So this is definitely a later pressing with the $2 price tag on it. Hey, but it's Zap Comics nonetheless. And here's one I've never seen before, actually. But this is issue number 9 of Zap Comics. That was also on the spinner rack for $2. So I'll probably end up passing these along. I'm pretty positive I don't have number 9. I'll take a look or a peek in there and see if I need to keep that or do I need to pass it along. We'll see what happens. But hey, underground comics for $2 a piece. I'll take that all day, every day. Just like Harry Belafonte. Anyway, that's all for now. Wanted to share those 50-cent joints with you. I will see you guys next time on my next comic book haul. This is Daryl D signing off. Peace.